people that are out of the workforce? Because I know that there's like quite a bit of people that have they just said, I'm out of here. And they're just going somewhere else, right? So when you look at their motivation, because I know that part of why people at least leave, because I can only because we live in the US, I'm only speaking on what I know, right? So but you find that people they leave because it's too expensive. It's expensive here, sometimes where everything depends on where you are. And
Yeah.
how does that process look for someone who's they're out of the workforce and they're trying to find a good fit? Do you think that people are more so looking for like sometimes we move places, we're just like, "Hey, I just want to try this out for a few years. Like I live where I live and I'm been here longer than I want to be, right? But for some people, when they're just out of the workforce and they don't want to come back, how's that approach? Do you approach that in a particular way for like staying somewhere long term, or are there certain are there certain precautions that these type of people should put into place when they're making that decision?
Yeah, I think that those decisions need to be taken, first of all, slowly, processing it, not impulsively, because there's also implications for pensions, for healthcare, all of those things that people don't necessarily think about when they say, "I want to get out of here." And also, it's a time of thinking about one's legacy and what one hasn't quite done. That's unfinished business that we have in the world. And so it's important to also give that expression and not just stay with the constraints of the pension and the healthcare and all of that, right? But to find ways of looking after that and enabling you to go and find what discover things and live the lifestyle that you choose to live.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good point. See, that's why all these questions because I know there's a lot more than what me sound. What was interesting was that I had a discussion with one of my coworkers this week. It was funny that we were doing this interview, but he's an expat. He's been in South. I won't put him. He's been in South America for what, on and off maybe 10 years or so, and he's like bounces back between the U.S. and where he's at now. And he was telling me that there's like a bunch of groups on Facebook. I didn't know any of this until like a couple days ago. He said there's like a ton of groups of people on Facebook and people that are actually just they're in these groups because they're trying to figure out like they're people they're trying to identify what country they want to move to. And he's like a lot of people are just like they're lost. Like they're trying to
yeah.
find friends. They're trying to figure out what to do, what's the best place, like where's the best place to go. And like like some people are just like they don't have a job or they're working, but they're good. They still need to work when they relocate, which is it feels like I just kind of look at it from the outside, it seems like such a enormous undertaking to do to just understand how much like we start to get into taxes and all the financial stuff and then all the citizenship as well in some of these
Mhm.
countries